what up, though? Welcome to the Onrea Initiative Podcast Show. My name is Brian Onrea. I'm the host of the show, and welcome to episode number 5, I believe. This is episode number 5. I'm so happy to be doing this podcast. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all the support from everyone for the first 4 episodes. Like I said before, man, this podcast was something that I was contemplating and talking about doing for like over a year, probably a couple of years. I've really been thinking about it, and I've been telling people in my life all year that, hey, I'm going to start a podcast, or when I start a podcast. And I finally did it at the end of last year, and it's been a real fun ride, man. I do want to encourage everybody. You know, it is January the 4th, the 4th day of the new year when I'm recording this. And, you know, some of us have already had challenges with our New Year's resolutions, with our New Year's goals. Some of us already fell off the wagon. Some of us are about to fall off the wagon. But I want to encourage you to get back up and keep going. Because here's the thing. A lot of the life changes that we are making is causing us to go against the grain. And what I mean by going against the grain is that you've been doing one thing for so long. Maybe you've been eating bad for so long, or you haven't been exercising and working out for so long. When you make that sharp turn to go the other way, it's going to be hard, man. You know, imagine like you running and the wind blowing with you. When you turn around and run against the wind, it's going to be hard to go against what you've already established. But just stick with it. You know, it'll get better. You know, like I said, if you've been eating bad, man, if you haven't been working out, it's hard to all of a sudden start eating bad. So it's going to be super tough at first. You got to push through. You know, if you've been financially irresponsible and all of a sudden you're trying to like get your money right and be financially responsible, those bills ain't going nowhere. You know, you made those bills, you racked up those credit card bills or that light bill, whatever it is. Like if you in the hole financially, it's going to be hard. You know, it's going to be hard to consistently do overtime. It's going to be hard to start that side hustle to make that extra money at first. But again, when you make a change, when you declare, I'm going to do something different, it's not going to be easy. So just be aware of that, man. Be aware of that and stick with it, you know. And like I said before, man, make sure that people who are around you are supportive of that, and make sure that they're kind of doing the same thing. You know, they got goals, you know. It's always important to make sure the people that you rolling with have goals too, you know. There's a phrase, you know, somebody who has nothing to lose will help you lose everything. You know what I'm saying? And if the people you're running with, they don't got goals, they don't got dreams, you know, it'd be hard for you to chase your dreams. You want somebody to help you stay on point because they're staying on point themselves. You know what I mean? If they don't have any goals, man, they don't got nothing to lose. They couldn't care less if you accomplish your goals because they ain't accomplishing their goals. And God forbid they're miserable and jealous of you for trying to do better. You know about those people, right? Those people that, you know, they see you doing well, they see you doing something, and something inside them is unsettled because they know in their heart that they should be doing better too, but they don't have the courage to do better, or they tried and they failed. So that fear of you being better than them. And let me tell you something, nobody is better than nobody. God made us all equal. However, all the work ethics and the perseverance and the determination, that's not created equal. You know, everybody don't have the same level of determination. Everyone doesn't have the same level of bounce back. You know, a lot of times people will be born into a situation where the deck is stacked against them when they may have been born with a bad hand, and not everybody reacts to it the same way. Some folks can be born with a bad hand, can be born with bad circumstances, and just have the ability to fight and press through it. Others, unfortunately, are born in a bad circumstance, and it just swallows them up. So we're all created equal, but our determination and work ethic aren't equal. But what I'm here to say to you is that no matter what you're going through, just press through it. Do not give up on those goals already. You know, at least give it a good couple months, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like if we persevere, we'll make it through, man. We'll make a big impact, and all those negative things in our life will turn into positives, you know what I'm saying? But speaking of negatives, man, let me start my first topic, man. Shannon Sharp and Katt Williams. Katt Williams broke the internet yesterday. Oh my goodness, man. Katt Williams appeared on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay podcast. And it's funny because, Club Shay, the whole premise of the podcast is Shannon has a club, has like a little after hour spot, and you come have a drink. And, shout out to Shannon Sharp. He has a cognac that he drinks. But usually the drinks aren't a factor. But it seemed like the drinks were a factor this time because, well, not really, because Katt Williams was going off before the show, as soon as the show started, before they even started drinking a lot. But they did drink a lot on this episode. But Katt Williams, man, broke the internet because he got on Shannon Sharp's show and decided to go at just about every black comedian, it seems like. Not everyone, but a lot of them. I mean, this guy went at Kevin Hart, Earthquake, Cedric the Entertainer, Tiffany Haddish, Ricky Smiley, went at Ricky Smiley real hard, and a lot of other comedians caught strays like Faison Love. Even Chris Tucker caught a few strays, man, and he was just going off on everybody. And Katt Williams has a history of being unspoken. This isn't the first time he's went at, for example, Kevin Hart or Tiffany Haddish. He went at them a few years ago. I mean, Katt Williams was one of the only people, especially out of black people, that went at Michael Jackson. Katt Williams went at Michael Jackson years ago, back when Michael Jackson was alive, when Michael Jackson was going through his court trial for the alleged sexual assault of minors. Katt Williams said, F Michael Jackson in front of everybody on his comedy special. You know what I'm saying? So Katt Williams is fearless from that standpoint, and he'll speak his mind. And this podcast, man, I mean, I know late last night, first of all, it came out yesterday at noon. By the evening, it had 2 million views. And then by the time I wake up real early to do this podcast. I woke up at 4 a.m. It was at 4 million views. 4 million views in less than 24 hours. And I'm not going to lie, y'all. It's kind of disappointing. It's kind of disappointing that as a society, we just love drama. We're attracted to drama. We're attracted to conflict. Everybody loves to see people fighting, the fight videos. And it's just a little bit disheartening. Excuse me. It's a little bit disheartening that we're so addicted to drama and conflict. And to see, Katt Williams going off and to see like all the comments, like any social media post that's talking about this had a lot of comments right off the bat. Katt Williams was the #1 trending topic for most of the day yesterday, and still will probably be a trending topic by the time you see this video and hear this podcast. And this is very, very disappointing. And you know me, man, I'm a positive guy. I personally feel like there's no need to go at people. One of Katt Williams' main gripes was that he accused Shannon of having these comedians on his show and them telling lies. Like Ricky Smiley apparently said that. And by the way, most of these episodes that, like, I love Club Shay Shay's podcast, but I didn't see most of the episodes with these comedians. Like, I didn't see the Cedric the Entertainer episode or the Earthquake episode or the Ricky Smiley episode. I didn't see those episodes. Just didn't watch them. But apparently, like, Cedric the Entertainer did not. There was this big rumor going around that Cedric the Entertainer stole a joke from from Katt Williams. And apparently, Cedric the Entertainer denied stealing that joke. And Katt Williams was mad about that. I mean, he insulted Cedric the Entertainer, called him names, talked about his weight. To me, that's out of bounds, And it's just disappointing that we love that so much. But that's out of bounds, man. And, and you got to take everything with a grain of salt, too, because, he said some things about Cedric the Entertainer that just weren't true. He said some things about him that just was not true at all. Like, he said, the Entertainer had all these comedy specials, but none of them, they were so bad that none of them were still viewable. Like, he said specifically that the Entertainer didn't have any specials on Netflix or Tubi, for more insult, you know what I'm saying? But that's not true. You can go on Netflix right now, or at least I did last night, and I'll put a screenshot up here. Cedric the Entertainer's comedy special is on Netflix. He has a comedy special on Netflix, so that's what wasn't true. And I believe he talked about how he never had a hit show. But again, the screenshot, you can go on IMDb and see that Cedric the Entertainer's The Neighborhood Show is still on air. It came out in 2018, and it's going into its 6th season now. So that wasn't true, So you got to take stuff with a grain of salt. Now, I'm not saying some things wasn't true, because, of course, you look on Twitter, and Twitter already did the research. They showed the jokes that Katt Williams were talking about. They on Twitter, just go to Twitter and see. They showed side by side the joke that Katt Williams accused said the entertainer of stealing. And I'm not gonna lie, it does look a little suspect, in Katt Williams' favor, because the joke was about riding in the car and how he was riding in the car, and said the entertainer turned into spaceship, but it was very similar about how they were riding in the car in the spaceship. So to his credit, it does seem like said the entertainer stole his joke. But here's my thing, like, you don't gotta expose everything. Why does everything gotta be exposed? Why does everything gotta be like beef? And of course, Katt Williams, I'm sure, is gonna get a lot more, views. He's being talked about more. So, people call that clout chasing. Is he chasing clout? I don't know. Maybe because he's the number one trending topic. And of course, we're gonna go back and watch his stuff. And then speaking of that, man, like, Kevin Hart is one of my favorite all-time comedians. He had a run that was crazy. The Pimp Chronicles, American Hustle, It's Pimpin'. Those are three legendary classic specials. But if I'm just honest, man, and I love Katt Williams, if I'm just being honest, though, his last two specials on Netflix, man, World War III, Great America, they weren't that funny. They weren't that funny. They were not that funny. I mean, World War III, I watched that special and I didn't laugh at all. And I hate to say it because I don't want to be hating, man. But it's like, to be a legendary comedian like you are, you put out a couple duds. So you kind of like got some nerve to talk about people, you know what I'm saying? Because your last two specials weren't hitting, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't believe me, watch it for yourself. And if I'm wrong, tell me, write it in the comments, on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter. Let me know if I'm tripping. If you thought Katt Williams' last two specials on Netflix were funny, just let me know, man. I didn't think they were funny. So I'm like, you don't got no room to talk, you know what I'm saying, about these people. And it's just crazy how everybody like swarmed toward it. And I don't know, it just don't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me as a culture that we are so in love with beef. We're so in love with conflict that we just ate it up. We got to do better. You know what I'm saying? If anything, let's spread some positive energy, man. I want to send positive energy and love to everybody involved, man. Katt Williams, Shannon Sharp, Kevin Hart, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley. I want to send love to all of them, man. All of them, especially Ricky Smiley, because he really went in on Ricky Smiley. I guess Ricky Smiley was saying that, like, he should have got the pimp role on the Friday sequel, and that really offended Katt Williams. But so what though? You can let people run with their narratives, man, and you can correct them, but you don't got to go all the way in. It's just like, I don't want to see people conflict. I want to see everybody together, man. We talk about the race war. It is a big race war going on, and I hate the race war. I don't want white people and black people to be fighting, but I especially don't want us to be fighting each other as black people. Like, we got to do better, man. As a society as a whole, we just got to stop that, man. We got to like love each other and spread love. And when negative stuff does happen, we shouldn't be so quick to kind of jump all over it and get our popcorn and giggle, Google, and get our kikiing on and all this stuff, man, because it's not a good look. It's not a good look at all, man. So, much love to everybody, man. And in the words of Rodney King, rest in peace, can we all just get along? You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're going to continue with this whole conflict and beef and talking crazy stuff. And we're going to get into Uncle Murda's 2023 recap. Now, just to put you up to speed, man, Uncle Murda, for the last, 4 or 5 years maybe, has been doing a wrap-up where he like does a song that recaps the whole entire year and all the foolery that goes on, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Skills, man, the rapper from Virginia. Skills actually started doing that. Skills has been doing that for like well over a decade, long time. But it seems like Uncle Murda's, again, the whole attention thing. Skills recap is more so like, it's a lot of heartfelt things. It's a lot of nice things. He talks about the drama too, but it's more like, positive, where Uncle Murda stuff is all just talking reckless. And guess what's more popular? And I'm guilty. I'm guilty because to be honest with you, I don't even know if Skills put one out this year. I'm sure he did, but I haven't heard it. And it's the fourth of the year already, so that's an indictment on myself that I'm even more attracted to the drama. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and search for Skills, and if he did do one, I'll talk about it on the next episode. Because shout out to Skills, man. I had a chance to interview Skills on a Free Game podcast with my brother Willpower a few years ago. So shout out to Skills, man. But Uncle Murda, it seems like the negativity gets more attention, and I ain't gonna lie, man. This year he did a 3-part thing. Usually he does like a real 10-minute, 12-minute, 15-minute song. This year he did 3 songs that are about 7-8 minutes apiece. So he did a part 1, part 2, and part 3. He dropped part 1 on New Year's Day, part 2 on the 2nd, and part 3 on the 3rd. And it is highly entertaining, man. Go listen. If you want to be entertained, go listen to it. And it's funny. He's saying a lot of funny stuff. He talked about everything. I think part 2, he really went in on Diddy, man. And just to kind of understand why, Uncle Murda has been rolling with 50 Cent the last few years. Whenever 50 Cent tours, he takes Uncle Murda with him. And last year in 2023, 50 Cent did the final lap tour where he went around the whole world. He did a big USA run, then he did a whole worldwide run. And Uncle Murda was right there with him. So they've been close. And of course, this last year, 50 Cent has been all over Diddy's head, just all over him. Even before the allegations came out, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've been under a rock, Diddy was accused. He was sued by his former girlfriend, recording artist Cassie, for a lot of things. He was sued in civil court for like rape, all types of anguish and distress, a lot of nasty stuff, and he settled with her within one day. He settled with her allegedly for $30 million. So 50 Cent has been having a field day with that. And Uncle Murda went all the way in on part 2 on that, talking about Diddy. But he went in on a lot of people, man. He talked about, the Jonathan Majors thing. He talked about, just a lot of stuff, man, that went on in 2023. It was real funny, man. I wanted to give it a shout out because, and I think all of this stuff is okay, especially because music is entertainment. Music is entertainment. So there's nothing wrong with listening to something and getting a good laugh in. Or Jada Pinkett, he went in on Jada Pinkett with the whole Jada Pinkett Will Smith thing, the whole Chris Rock slapping Will Smith thing. He went in on that, and a lot of stuff. A lot of it is escaping my mind. But shout out to Uncle Murda. Check out part 3 of the year-end review, the wrap up 23. Check that out, and check out Skills V. Look, see if Skills got one, man. Skills got one. Shout out to Skills as well. And again, I'm gonna check for that myself. Shame on me for not checking for Skills as well. Shame on me for going to the negative first instead of going to the positive. So we all got to do better, including myself. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of doing better, man, this Jeffrey Epstein list came out allegedly yesterday. What happened was Jeffrey Epstein was being sued in court before he died, and Jazine Maxwell, his co-defendant, I think they both were being sued. I'm not even sure, but there were some documents from this lawsuit that were waiting to be unsealed, and they were unsealed yesterday. Now, let me just backtrack to make sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is, go to Netflix. There's a documentary on Netflix called Filthy Rich. It's a very in-depth discussion on Jeffrey Epstein and his wild accusations that were levied against him that he went to court for a couple times. And I don't know if he was found guilty the second time. I think he got off the first time. I'm not even sure, but I don't remember. But he was really accused of really like doing some foul stuff with underage women. And he was a very rich man. He owned private islands that he allegedly flew people to. I know Prince Andrew, even in the documentary, he was accused. Donald Trump allegedly had been rolling with him. But the thing about it was, apparently, and this is where the conspiracy theory comes in, apparently he was arrested for all these heinous crimes, a couple of years ago. And he was found dead in his jail cell. And allegedly, the video cameras were like cut off that was to show his jail cell, and nobody knew about it, and he hung himself. And some people say he didn't hang himself because the conspiracy theory is that he was going to name names of all the people who were sleeping with these underage girls, at his private little getaways. He had a home in Florida, and he had a couple islands that he owned, and apparently he was going to out people. And there's several names that were allegedly involved. And I'm not going to name them, even though I think I did name a couple, but I don't want to start falsely accusing people of stuff. But for years, it's been said that, this person was on that list. This person went to the Epstein Island. That person went to the Epstein Island. Even yesterday, even Katt Williams said that Chris Tucker was on the list, that Chris Tucker been to the Epstein Island. And I think it's defamatory if you don't have any proof, For example, Aaron Rodgers, the football player, was on a Pat McAfee show the other day, and he said that Jimmy Kimmel was on the list and been to Epstein Island. Jimmy Kimmel immediately came out and fired back and said he was going to sue Aaron Rodgers if he ever said it again, and that was a lie. He said he'd never been to Epstein Island. He never been with Epstein, and that was a lie. He was furious, and I think it's reckless to be putting out names, but there's several names that's been out over the years. But anyway, yesterday the documents were unsealed, and, they were talking about certain names. Donald Trump was a name on there. I forget the other names. I don't want to even say, but there's names, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit more as the days go by and more names come out. And again, the names doesn't mean that they're automatically guilty. The names just means that they were associated with Epstein, and in this court case, in these depositions, and in these testimonies, people were naming these names. You know what I'm saying? And even from what I read last night, some of the names, I think Donald Trump, for example, was mentioned. They didn't accuse Donald Trump of being with underage girls, But there was a quote. There was a quote in this lawsuit that said that the person alleged that Epstein said that Bill Clinton liked the young girls. He liked them young. That's what it said. And of course, Bill Clinton's history. Bill Clinton was caught doing sexual things in the Oval Office with a teenage Monica Lewinsky. I think Monica Lewinsky was 19 or 20 years old. So, it's just real ugly, man, with the Epstein thing. But, there's conspiracy theories and then there's truth. And I think it's very, very important to know the truth. And I think if people are doing disgusting things with underage girls, we should know about it. And we should find out about it, and we should not support them anymore. We shouldn't support their businesses. We shouldn't support their movies. We shouldn't support their political careers if they're guilty of doing things. Now, there's levels to it, though. Just because somebody might be named with Epstein doesn't mean that they were doing the same thing Epstein was doing. Now, it might not be a good look to be around a scumbag, but then again, a lot of times, let's say you go to work, right? You are friends with people at work. You have work friends, coworker friends. You don't know that they are a disgusting person outside of work. You don't know what the things they're doing. Epstein was a socialite. He was rich, and I'm assuming that money wants to hang with money. So just because they were hanging with Epstein, they were hanging out with him, doesn't mean they were doing those things. So you got to be careful about that. But it's levels. Some people might not want to support these public figures, even if they're hanging out with Epstein. I didn't support you no more, even if you were around them. I don't know if I agree with that. But if it's shown that these people were with underage girls, if we can find some evidence that you believe that your favorite talk show host or your favorite athlete or your favorite actor, your favorite comedian, your favorite political figure was sleeping with underage girls, yeah, they should be canceled. And I don't even like the word canceled, you know what I'm saying? But I know personally, I will cancel for my personal life anybody who I feel was doing things with underage girls and teenage girls. I'm not into sex trafficking. I'm not into sexual abuse. I'm not into none of that, man. If we find out you're doing that, we need to put you under the jail at best, if not something worse, because women and children and seniors need to be protected at all costs. Heck, man, we all need to be protected at all costs. I'm not against any kind of hurt against anybody, man. But again, the Epstein thing, though, that got a lot of press. Whenever Epstein's name is in the news, it gets a lot of press, a lot of talk on social media. And again, we are addicted to the negative, man. But the positive out of that is, let's get to the truth. Let's find out. Let's look at, I'm looking forward to reading the whole set of documents just to see what they're talking about. And I can do my own research from there, It's important to do your own research about stuff and find out about stuff for yourself to develop your own opinions. Don't run with headlines, because just because somebody's name was named in these court hearings don't mean that they're guilty. But of course, the way the internet works, if anybody's name was mentioned, oh, they was with underage girls, they've been to Epstein Island. And even hypothetically, just because you went to the island don't mean you were doing anything, you know what I'm saying? And don't mean you even knew about stuff, because a lot of this stuff happened years and years and years ago before Epstein was even real popular, way before social media. So, be real careful when you judge those folks who are named in the Epstein papers, you know what I'm saying? So let's switch over, man. Let's switch over to something else, you know what I'm saying? Onrea Initiative Podcast. All right, man, let's get into something a little more positive. Let's get into some sports news, man. Let's talk a little bit of sports, man. And again, shout out to my Michigan Wolverines. Again, I'm a Michigan alumni. I graduated from the University of Michigan, so I love my school. We're going into the college national championship against Washington. Let me just tell you something, man. I'm getting a little nervous. Number one, because it seems like after that Michigan win, the Michigan fan base, even the Michigan team, all the media has seemed to crown the Michigan Wolverines national champions already. Excuse me. But it seems like we've been crowned national champions. You see all these alumni. Shout out to Charles Woodson. Shout out to Jalen Rose. Shout out to Tom Brady, the GOAT quarterback. But everybody is like on social media going crazy, celebrating. We stormed the field after the Rose Bowl. We didn't win a national championship yet, so why are we acting like we won a national championship yet? And the media is doing so many stories, man. They were on Undisputed the other day talking about which Harbaugh brother had the better career. And it's like, why are we acting like Michigan won a national championship already? And I'm nervous because it seems like if I'm on Washington's side, if I'm a Washington player, if I'm a Washington coach, I'm showing the players it's like, look, y'all, these guys think they won a championship already. The media think they won a championship already. So, if I'm like Michigan, a Michigan fan, I'm nervous right now. And even Michigan players is like, I don't want the players to feel like they already won a championship because they're so hyped up. They're doing all these interviews and they're so excited. And it's just like, stop. Y'all messing it up. Y'all have not won nothing yet. Even Jim Harbaugh, there's several reports out that he's like going to go to the NFL. I heard Paul Feinbaum say he's going to the NFL. My boy Steve sent me a report last night saying that that it's been rumored that Jim Harbaugh has been talking to the San Diego Chargers already about the job. And it's like, bruh, why don't y'all stop it, man? Give Washington some coverage. Give Washington some pub. Give Washington some hype. Hype them up a little bit. Don't hype us up because you're setting us up to fail. You're setting us up to not come prepared, to come get punched in the mouth, Because again, if I'm Washington, I'm getting mad, man. If I'm Washington, I'm getting like, ooh, these jokers think they beat us already, So, Michigan has not won yet. Now, according to Vegas, Michigan is favored in this game. I don't really bet, man, so I don't know how betting goes, man. Maybe I should learn about betting so that I can get a sponsorship from one of these betting companies. But Michigan is favored to win. They're minus 185. I don't know what that means. They're minus 185, and Washington is plus 155. Seems kind of weird to me, but apparently Michigan is favored. It doesn't seem by a whole lot, but Michigan is favored to win from Vegas. And I don't mind Michigan being favored, but the media, y'all overdoing it. Stop talking about Michigan and stop talking about how great Michigan is or how great Harbaugh legacy is, because he ain't won nothing yet, man. We ain't won nothing yet, And it's like, it's almost like, I know the Michigan fan base, we haven't won a championship since my freshman year in college when Charles Woodson was there. I think we tied with, it was Washington. Was it Washington? Did we tie with? We tied with them. It might have been back in Ryan Leaf days. Man, I'm getting older. But we ain't won a championship since then. And that was 20-something years ago? But it's like we're acting like we ain't won nothing before because we so hyped and we so excited because we beat Alabama. But that was not the championship, y'all. So cut it out, And that reminds me of the Kobe Bryant thing. One of my favorite Kobe Bryant, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. The Mamba mentality, baby. One of my favorite clips is of Kobe Bryant at a press conference after he won a playoff game. I think it was against the Orlando Magic when they were up by 2 or 3 games on Orlando, and everybody's trying to get all excited with Kobe at the podium, and Kobe's answering the questions, being professional, whatever, answering questions, but he looks like he's not happy. And the reporter's like, how come you're not happy? He's like, happy for what? We ain't did nothing yet. They're like, well, you're up 3 games. You're one. Like, so what? The job's not done. The job's not done. So what? I'm not happy yet. And like, I use that as a motto. Just because something's going good for you in life, or something's going good for you in your career, but you're not at the finish line yet, don't celebrate. You might look at the numbers and be like, oh, it looks like I'm going to win the bonus this month. It looks like I'm going to win the award this month. So you get all excited. Don't get excited until after you win the award. Finish the job, then get excited. That's how I am about life. I might get some good news, or the podcast, so-and-so might come on a podcast. Oh, we all excited. Wait until you get the guest first. Wait until that deal come out first. Wait till the song come out first. Don't get too hyped before it happens, because you set yourself up for failure. Recently in my life, I had something happen to me, man. I'll be transparent. I've been an entrepreneur for years, working full time for myself, and I've done pretty well, or relatively well. I've supported myself. But I made the decision while I'm still doing my entrepreneur stuff, I was going to go and get a 9-to-5 job. And I got hired by this company, and it was paying way more than I expected them to pay. And I was happy about it. I was excited about it, but I was trying to be cool. Long story short, I went in and started training, and they were telling me that I didn't fill out some paperwork correctly, or and it was totally bogus. It was totally bogus. I did everything I was supposed to do. And they were like, no, you got to wait 60 days before you got to reapply again because you didn't fill out this paperwork. I'm like, I did. I'm showing them I filled it out. And they were like, nope, we don't see it. We tried to call you. They didn't try to call me. They didn't see me no email, no text message, because they had been communicating with me via text message and email. They did me totally wrong. I'm not going to say the company's name, but forget y'all, man. I don't rock with y'all no more. I'm like Tupac, F y'all as a staff, as a record label. Forget them, man. But again, I had to go back and tell my family and friends that great job I was talking about didn't come through. And to my credit, though, I never got too excited about it, because to me, I wasn't going to be excited until I was working there and got my first check and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So don't get excited about stuff, even when it seemed like you already won. Be cool. Be like Kobe Bryant, and wait until it comes through. Then get excited. So Michigan, chill, stay focused. And media, stop doing this to my team. Stop hyping them up. Stop talking about Harbaugh going to the NFL. Let the man win a championship first. Because if he loses, to me, he's like the guy that never won, because he went to a Super Bowl. He went to a Super Bowl in San Francisco and lost. Came close to winning, but he lost. And if he loses this time, he would have got to the championship and lost. So to me, he would have been almost a has-been. That should be the story. Run that story. What happens if Harbaugh loses? Hype that up, so that we can kind of be more humble and get more hungry, because, we got to this position by being an underdog all year. Them talking about the cheating scandal or Harbaugh being suspended, and that motivated us. So now it's like, don't hype us up now. Y'all been dogging us all year. Don't hype us up now. Keep that same energy. Hype up Washington. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Michigan Wolverines, man. I hope and pray we win. Well, not pray. I don't think we should pray for teams to win the game, because that's kind of lame. I think God got more important stuff to do. If anything, pray that there are no major injuries. Pray that these young men, don't get hurt and mess up their football, their professional football aspirations. Pray for that, but don't pray for a victory. I just pray that the teams pray well, and I hope that Michigan wins. But that's interesting, though. How many of y'all pray for teams to win, or pray? I know we all people. I've done it before in the past, but I think it's kind of corny, man. Don't pray for your team to win. But do you pray for your team to win? Stop that. Or whatever, teach his own. Do what you want to do. I don't know what you believe in, or who you believe in, or whatever. But for me, I think we shouldn't pray for teams to win. All right, last thing, man. The NFL released the Pro Bowl rosters for the AFC and the NFC, man. And I want to just shout out, the AFC. The starting quarterback in the AFC is Tua Tagovailoa. I always mess up his name, Tua Tagovailoa from Miami, man. shout out to him, man, because a couple of years ago, they were saying Tua was a bust and Tua wasn't worthy of being one of the top picks in the draft. But look at him, man. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes also were the quarterbacks there, man. Chris Jones from the Chiefs. If you noticed the beginning of the year, Chris Jones and the Chiefs were really beefing, and Chris Jones missed the first couple games of the year because he wanted a contract renegotiation. And he got his way. He got his contract, and look at him. He in the Pro Bowl, so shout out to him, man. Max Crosby for the Raiders made it at defensive end. That brother had a monster year, man. He is just relentless. He played against the Lions, man, and had me worried for a while, man. TJ Watt and Khalil Mack is in there at offensive outside linebacker. Shout out the NFC roster, even though my man Jeff Goff didn't make it. Matthew Stafford made it instead as a backup. I know Jeff Goff had some turnovers. He had a turnover issue a little bit late in the season. That might have cost him. But shout out to Brock Purdy, starting quarterback for the NFC. And Dak Prescott was the other backup. Christian McCaffrey made it as running back as a starter. DeAndre Swift, former Lion. Now, DeAndre Swift, man, I had a gripe with him because we let him go to the Eagles. I don't know if we traded. I think we traded him to the Eagles. But it's like he played real good this year. He never played this good with us with the Lions, man. He was a disappointment. He played okay with the Lions, but we should have seen this with Detroit. But I ain't mad because Detroit, we got a real good running back combination with Montgomery and with Gibbs. So shout out to all those running backs. And then neither one of them made it. They might have canceled each other out though because we got a double tandem. So neither one of them made it. So it's kind of disappointing, but we canceled each other out. But shout out to Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta, our tight end for the Lions, made the backup tight end role. And shout out to George Kittle, who's the starting tight end for the NFC. I don't know if they know if the Lions made it. I think we had Jalen Reeves-Maybin made it for special teams. Shout out to him. But I think that's about it for the Lions, man. Oh yeah, Penny Sewell made it for offensive tackle. And we got a good offensive line in Detroit. Shout out to them, man. So shout out to everybody who made the Pro Bowl, man. Shout out to all of you for listening. This has been the Onrea Initiative Podcast, episode number 5, man. I love y'all. Stay positive. Keep chasing your dreams. Keep chasing your goals. Take initiative. And don't feed into the negative energy going on out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.